As of late, Stadia gamers have been faced with two contrasting arguments. It's between, hey, the platform is dying, can't you see it? Versus, Stadia's working on its L's, they're not rushing it, just follow the evidence. Who are gamers to believe? Well, we'll tell you what you need to do to best navigate this terrain. Join us for a Stadia Gamer's Guide to dealing with the conflicting points of view in the community. It's SEO Daily, baby. Let's get into this one. What's up, people? What's up, people? What's up, people? It is your boy MM2K of PNTS Network and StadiaDosage back again with another SDO Daily. This is a special one because I got a special rant going on. But before we get to that rant, do me a huge favor. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and rock those bells for notifications, please, so you know when we're dropping these doses. We appreciate all of y'all. Straight up, y'all know the deal, y'all know the reason, and by now y'all should know the slogan. We are not too proud to ask. All right, so here's what I want to do. In a special rant, I am going to talk about conflicting points of view in the community, but there's the two that I talked about in the bumper that I really want to focus on, and hopefully you can use that as a guide to dealing with other different points of view as you come across these situations, because I get it. There's a lot of new Stadia community members. I talk to you guys a lot behind the scenes, and a lot of you say to me, hey, I don't get what this riff is. I can feel this negative energy between some of you guys that have been here for a longer amount of time. I don't get it. I just want to enjoy the platform, or I just want to understand what's going on. So with that in mind, I just wanted to put something out there to address that. All right. So here's the deal. Let's first talk about disagreeing gamers, okay? Because this isn't something new. Gamers disagree on the state of affairs when it comes to any platform. Like, for instance, on Stadia, again, as we said in the bumper, Stadians are dealing with the question of A, is the platform dying or winding down, or B, is the platform just methodically addressing problems they're aware of for the long haul? You know, that's kind of like the big debate in the community. But again, platform debates are not unique to Stadia's community. Other communities deal with things like, for instance, on the PlayStation community, should PlayStation emulate Game Pass? Should they be dropping games day and date like Game Pass and bringing that value to their games versus PlayStation games are too valuable and it's not good business for them to do that, right? That's a debate in their community. Now, a more prominent one, and we're honestly going to use this one to help us highlight how to handle things in the Stadia community, because precedent to me is a very big thing. You know what I mean? If you want to get to the big stage, then you got to understand what's happening on the big stage right now. So the more prominent one is, should Xbox be pushed to do better with this exclusive content? As you guys all know, there's a civil war going on. Content creators kicking other prominent content creators off of podcasts, cursing them out. I'm seeing people argue. I'm in the Xbox community that I've never seen debate ferociously. Just get personal. It's bad. It's bad, and it's based off of simply two games being pushed back. They didn't say the games weren't coming. They just said they weren't coming this year. Now, and I don't want that to be a precursor to people thinking that I'm siding with one place or the other, because I'm not. I'm just letting you know that even there, gamers are at each other's throats over what's going on with the state of affairs on the Xbox platform. So again, community members debating, going back and forth, there being a civil war or a split of the minds, so to speak, is nothing exclusive to Stadia. So again, we're going to use the Xbox situation as an example to navigate through this rant. And it's always best to know when a consumer ultimately has to make tough choices either way. So I'm going to break it down this way. when you're dealing with tough situations or you're dealing with conflicting points of views, when it comes to that argument about Stadia, is the platform winding down versus it's making changes for the long haul that just take time crowd, right? Here's my thoughts on how each should navigate the plateau, and then hopefully this will be helpful to, again, the newer gamers, depending upon where they fit in, you know what I mean, on either side of the scale. All right. So for those who have an issue, all right, and when I talk about an issue is, again, when Stadia first rolled out, Phil Harrison said himself that it was about those knowing the importance of 4K 60. And we've seen issues with 4K 60. And people have a desire to get more AAA games on the platform, and they were under the belief that, you know, if we're going to close SG&E in order to get more AAA games, that meant we're taking that money and we're directly using it to buy ports on the game. And it's if that's the belief that you have, or the belief that you think is the best strategy, I'm not here to argue that. I'm just saying that that's a belief system from that side, that if you were going to close SG&E and not have exclusives, then that money should immediately just go to buying more ports, as you have been doing in the past. All right. So for those that do have an issue with the platform in that realm or others, I feel it's okay to voice your displeasure, for one, and two, announce how unsatisfactory change for you, but a big emphasis for you, will affect your engagement with the platform in the future. Prime example. If I don't start seeing the performance that I want to see, then I may go elsewhere. I may cancel my Stadia Pro. I got Stadia Pro for 4K and I'm not seeing it. You know, that's understandable. It's your money. And again, like we said earlier, when it comes to you not being satisfied, tough decisions have to be made. So it's okay, again, to voice your displeasure as a consumer and announce how unsatisfactory changes in regards to that displeasure for you will affect your engagement. But here's what it's not okay to do. It's not okay to speak for others and make your revolution widespread. I'm gonna give you an example. And as we're seeing with the Xbox community, there are Xbox people that are upset that Xbox has all these studios, but yet they have, in 2 years into this generation, they don't have their Horizon Forbidden West or their God of War on the horizon. Like, games keep getting pushed back, or even when they do come out, like Halo Infinite, like it's incomplete. It's not ready. It just seems like that they're never ready in their minds, and they're angry about that. So because they're angry about that, they expect other gamers to be upset and revolt as well. And there have been gamers that have come out and said, I'm not upset. There's plenty of games for me to play. I will enjoy those games. And, you know, if they got to push it back to make them better, fine with me. That may not be satisfactory to you, but to go to those that feel that way and whiz in their cornflakes and say, no, you need to be upset with me when they're not upset, it's not how you handle things. I think in a healthy fashion within the gaming community. You speak for your brass. If you speak for your brass, fine. You know what I mean? But again, gaming, I think we're losing the understanding of what gaming is about. Gaming isn't politics. It isn't one group versus another group, or banding together to defeat the almighty man. It's gaming is about enjoying output. You know what I'm saying? And enjoying it. And if you found something that you enjoy, then it's okay that you enjoy it. If others don't enjoy that same thing, then they got a decision to make. And so it's not okay in that scenario with the Xbox people for wanting people to join your revolution just because you don't like something. Now, if you have been lied to or something has been taken from you dishonestly, that's different. Yeah, we guarantee that that these 2 games were coming out this year for Xbox. So we're going to take your money in advance and guarantee. And let's just say if they get pushed back and people want refunds. Oh, we're not giving refunds. Now, that's different. Then you would hope fellow gamers would band together because there's something that, as far as the bartering system between you and the platform provider, that didn't go right at, within that bartering system. But not doing something in a way that a consumer wants you to do it, you know what I mean? Or not delivering in a way that they want you to deliver, doesn't mean that because it upsets you, it's going to upset everybody else. That just means that it may not be something for you. You can speak up, and when you speaking up doesn't lead to the results or yield the results that you want, it's time to make a tough decision and likely go elsewhere. You know what I mean? So same would apply to the Stadia community. If you're not happy, you to voice your displeasure, not a problem. But if other people are satisfied, or if they're happy with the results, or if they trust in the system, what's going on, if they trust what's being said to them and you don't, then you got a decision to be made. Because what's happened is Google has identified the people its target demo. They've communicated to their target demo in an effective way. And that target demo trusts the process. So let Google do what its target demo, what it wants to do. And you may have to come to the realization that you're not part of the target demo. So if you're not part of the target demo and you're not happy while not being part of the target demo, you got a decision to make. But a sensible and a fathomable decision is not, again, trying to whiz in everyone else's cornflakes, so to speak. All right? So that's how I think, gamers who have an issue should be should conduct themselves. Rightfully so, voice their opinions. Rightfully so, express what your involvement is going to be. But to expect everyone to join your battle over your opinions, over your subjectivity, I don't think it's the right path to move forward. All right. Next, let's deal with those who are happy, because there are do's and not do's for them as well. Like for instance, those that are happy, I think it is okay to enjoy your product in peace. And if you can't relate to certain rhetoric, like this is doomed or this is bad, you don't agree with it, you don't have to indulge. Like, for instance, if I'm a vegan and I'm enjoying my vegan food and someone walks into the vegan restaurant and says, well, I don't like the way vegan food tastes, you should also give an option for, some actual meat here. Someone could say, all right, I get that there's restaurants that do both. This ain't one of them. So you're going to have to go somewhere else. So hold on, sir. Just take my pamphlets and listen to what I got to say. They should have this because there's other bigger restaurants that I don't care what everybody else is doing. If I cared about what they were doing, I would go to those restaurants too. It sounds like that's what you need to do, is go to those restaurants, right? It's okay to have that point of view. So when I see people upset or mad that certain people don't follow them, or, even block them. It's your choice on social media to do. Understand, it's your choice. Social media is a platform that you use at your discretion. Okay, so if people want to go out there and use it in a certain way, you have a right to use it in your way as well. And people you don't have to engage with content that you don't want to engage with. Same with me. You don't like what I'm saying, you don't like what I'm doing. I'm not pounding the pavement to force you into something that you don't want to be involved with. So again, if you're happy, if you're okay, and you can't relate to rhetoric out there otherwise, you don't have to indulge. I would just say be mindful if somebody's wronged in the bartering process, which means, again, people not getting their money back when they should get their money back. Like a prime example would be Outriders. When I know a slew full of people that thought Outriders was just fine the way that it was, and it was for them, but other gamers were not getting a satisfactory product, and they weren't getting their money back, and they weren't getting rightful communication from Square Enix. But the community band together and said, yeah, this isn't right. Something needs to be done about it. Even those that were still playing Outriders. That's different from you subjectively not liking something, me enjoying it, but you want me not to like it too. You can block that out, all right? Also, it's okay to cater your focus to match your enthusiasm. If the doom and gloom talk or certain criticism or of any criticism just is a damper of your enthusiasm, you don't have to indulge. Just like if you're an Xbox fan and the delays don't bother you, it's okay for you to still like Xbox and not feel like that you got to reach out to Phil Spencer. And if you want to block that out, that's okay to you. That's okay for you to do that. You don't have to cater your enjoyment to somebody else's subjectivity. That's absurd. You don't have to do it. Here's what's not okay to do though. It's not okay to expect people to hold off criticism because they think it'll hurt the platform even if that criticism is valid. So for instance, with Outriders, if somebody was like, oh, don't mention Outriders, it's not performing as alluded to, but saying so is going to make Stadia look bad. Well, maybe they should in that instance, right? Because if you don't know something is wrong and the damage, and you're in an echo chamber, you don't understand the damage that it's doing, how are you going to know to fix it? Also, don't expect engagers to simply enjoy the product because you do. If they don't like it, fine. It's okay, let them not like it. But reasonably, you don't have to indulge in their rhetoric. But it's good for Google to hear why they don't like it. So if it is a demo that they feel like it should be part of a demo that they can reach out to in the early years, or someone that a group that they're interested in reaching in the future, they will get info and data on what to do in order to reach that group in the future. Prime example, hence why we gave Doc Dark a Stadia Premiere bundle, because as far as I knew, I thought he was misinformed about the platform when he made an original comment. And even if he didn't like it, it was okay, because I thought that he would, from what I heard from him, even in advance, I thought he was a prime candidate for someone. If you're pleasing, you're making steps in the right direction, right? So I felt like Google should hear the feedback from him, even if he doesn't like it. He ended up liking it, but either way, it's good. He ended up liking it, but he has his criticisms. So I think it's the best of both worlds, right? Okay. So with all that said, that's what I think the rules of engagement would be in a perfect world from both sides. With that being said, here are my final thoughts. I don't think it's good for either group to distort facts, to bolster your emotions, legitimately harass someone because they disagree with you. And when I say legitimately harass, look, you're on social media. People are going to disagree with you. If they're going to disagree with you and you don't like people disagreeing with you, maybe lock your social media account so only select people will respond to you. Or B, just mute them and block them. You know what I mean? It's just social media. Anybody that you allow access to respond to you will do so. If you want to turn your social media account into a fan fair account, then do so. Like Jason Schreier, as much as we find his practices egregious, it's allowed. If you don't agree with him, he wants a fanfare account, meaning that he only engages with people that approve of everything that he says. So that's your option, all right? But that it's not harassment to have someone disagree with you. Harassment is, of course, doxing somebody, following them, threatening them, and all that. It's never okay to do that. And it's not one side is more guilty than the other. There's loons on both sides that do that. And it's also not good to shame someone's point of view by trying to rope in social political events and contrasts. Like, we were infamously tagged to neo-Nazi tendencies for making Stadia 100, right? Remember that? I know, laughable now, but what we can laugh over now before we cried over in the past. And I am disappointed to see some of gamers that I do respect, though, try to do the same thing over the Xbox argument. I seen somewhere where somebody said there are bigger fish to fry in the world, and if you're so upset about this, then whatever. You know what I mean? I mean, let people, just social media, let people, take their displeasure the way that they want to do it, as long as they're not threatening to anybody. And if they're like, look, I'm like livid about this. Maybe gaming means that much to them. Maybe it's a big stress reliever. You don't know what's going on in people's lives. You know what I mean? So if they're livid about it, fine. If you think that's too extreme, then just don't deal with them. But I wouldn't belittle somebody because they're upset about something. Just don't indulge. You know what I'm saying? Just V-chip yourself. It's okay to not indulge in everything. You know what I mean? I think what's going on is, and I just talked to a great developer about this behind the scenes. It seems that social media has made gaming more about conversations and battles in regards, opposed to just playing the games. Newsflash: games are not politics. They are not created to defeat an opposing point of view. They are made for people to enjoy, solo, together, but again, just enjoy. We have to get back to that spot of focusing our attention on what we enjoy first and foremost. Or this love of mine is headed in a very, very bad space. Those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think about all this in the comment section below, because like I always say, I'm curious what I think. But if you did like what I had to say, check out the links below to follow me. The link to the Broadband Bullies, PNTS Network, Hard Knock Digital Culture, and yes, StadiaDosage. With all that said, peace. Have a wonderful gaming day.